All right, let's talk about something that so many businesses get wrong, the email list. In his book, Launch, Jeff Walker drops this idea that honestly changes the whole game. He says, your email list isn't just another thing you use for marketing. No, it's probably the single most valuable asset your business has. So today, we're going to unpack what that really means.
You know, for most of us, an email list is just a box to check. It's on the to-do list right next to posting on social media or running some ads. We use it, sure, but do we actually get how powerful it is? The common thinking is that it's just one tool out of many. But what if that's not just a little wrong, but fundamentally backward?
And that's the core idea right here. An email list is so much more than a tool. It's one of the most valuable assets your business can actually, truly own. And listen, this isn't just playing with words. This is a complete shift in mindset. Let's dig into why this one little distinction is so incredibly important.
To really get it, we're going to walk through 6 key concepts. We'll start with why it's a core asset. Then we'll talk about why responsiveness beats size every single time. We'll cover the difference between prospects and buyers, how email completely crushes social media, and its role as the engine of a launch. And then we'll wrap it all up with the key lessons to take with you.
Okay, first up, let's really get into this idea of your list being a core business asset. This isn't just about changing what you call it, it's about changing how you treat it. Jeff Walker has this incredible line. He says, a responsive email list is the closest thing you can have to a license to print money. Now hold on, that doesn't mean it's some magic button for instant cash. What it means is that you own a direct controlled line to people who have literally asked to hear from you. And that direct line, it gives you the power to generate revenue predictably, almost on demand.
The reason it's so powerful comes down to something called permission marketing. Just think about it for a second. An ad on social media interrupts you, but an email subscriber personally invited you into their inbox. They raised their hand and said, "Yep, I want to hear what you have to say." That simple act of opting in builds trust from the very first moment and creates a totally different, way more powerful relationship.
And that whole idea of a trusted relationship, it leads us straight to our next point, which just shatters a huge myth in the online world. We're talking about responsiveness over size. Because when it comes to your email list, bigger is definitely not always better. In fact, sometimes it's worse.
Just imagine this for a second. Would you rather have a massive list of 100,000 people who never even open your emails, or a small list of just 1,000 people who read every word, click on your links, and even hit reply sometimes? I mean, the answer is obvious, right? That small, engaged list is infinitely more valuable because attention and engagement, that's the real currency here. And this all boils down to one simple truth. Your revenue is a direct result of the quality of the relationship you have with your subscribers. It has almost nothing to do with the sheer number of names you have on a list. Engagement is everything.
Okay, so let's take this idea of quality one step further. Because even within an engaged list, not everyone is the same. And this brings us to a really critical distinction between two groups, prospects and buyers.
The difference is super simple, but it's also profound. Your prospect list is made up of all the people who've shown interest. Maybe they downloaded a free guide or signed up for a webinar, but they haven't spent a dime with you yet. Your buyer list, on the other hand, these are the people who have already pulled out their wallets and bought something from you.
So why is this so important? Because a buyer list is pure gold. Seriously, think about it. The trust is already there. They've already voted with their wallet. Any objections they might have about buying from you in the future are way lower. And because of all that, your conversion rates for new offers are just dramatically higher. This is exactly why a major goal of any launch should be to move people from that prospect list over to the buyer list. All right, let's tackle the big one, email versus social media. This is where you can really see the massive difference between owning an asset and just, well, renting an audience.
Look, when you build a huge following on a social platform, you don't actually own that audience. The platform does. Some algorithm that you have zero control over decides who sees your stuff, and that algorithm can change overnight and completely wipe out your reach. But your email list? That's an asset you own. You control it. There's no algorithm standing between you and your subscribers. You get to decide when and how you communicate. So now let's tie all these pieces together. How does this owned, responsive, high-quality asset actually work in the real world? This is where we see the email list become the true engine of a successful product launch. It's not just some static database, it's the living, breathing force that drives the entire campaign.
Your list is basically the central nervous system for your whole launch. It starts way before you sell anything, by building anticipation and signaling that something cool is on the way. Then you use it to deliver amazing, valuable pre-launch content, building up goodwill right there in their inbox. It becomes a two-way street where you can answer questions and handle objections before they even become a problem. And of course, it's the direct line you use to shout, "The doors are open," and to create that urgency when they're about to close. From start to finish, your email list is what powers every single critical moment.
So, as we start to land the plane here, let's just quickly recap the key lessons, the absolute core principles you should be taking away from all of this.
Here they are, the 5 big ideas to remember. Number 1, start treating your list like a primary business asset, not a tool. 2, focus on building responsiveness, not just a big number. 3, recognize that your buyer list is your most valuable segment, period. 4, understand that email gives you a level of control that social media just never can. And finally, number 5, use every single launch as an opportunity to make the relationship with your list even stronger.
So I'll just leave you with this question to think about. Now that you see your list not just as a tool, but as a core business asset, what are you going to do differently to protect it, to nurture it, and to grow it? Because honestly, your answer to that question could change everything for your business.